It's Friday morning. It is November the 1st. It's about 15 minutes after 7. Still pitch black in the woods. I've been in the blind here for probably about 10 minutes just getting set up. And I'm just about to open up the window and sit down for the first sit of this hunt. So I will, the weather outside is like 40 degrees and it's windy. The forecast for today is to be in the low to mid 40s with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds for most of the day. Fortunately, it was warm yesterday. It was like in the 60s. So right now it's about 52 degrees inside the blind, so it's comfortable. Alright, so I'm going to try to set it out all day. I brought stuff for lunch and whatnot, so the rut is on, so this is the time of the year, wind or no wind, to be sitting in the woods looking for that buck. So I'll check back with you later. Here's my deer blind. This is the trail out. It's about 200 yards to the cabin. Here's the walk trail into my blind. That way I'm screened. And then there's the back door. There's a gutter up above there. Cement block. The blind is sitting on those foundation blocks. You can see the front corners. So then here's my walk back to the cabin. Again, there's the blind and there's the food plot. That's another trail that goes off to one of the other food plots. That goes off to another food plot and it goes around the cabin. Firewood shed right here. There's our fire pit. There's the cabin. Some storage sheds out back. Front yard driveway coming in. Okay, I made my way back to the cabin. It's probably about 6:15 or thereabouts. So here's the score for the day. I sat all day. I was out there by just a little bit after 7 and I sat until 6, so that's an 11-hour sit, and went straight through with no breaks coming back to the cabin or anything. Saw some partridge and that's about it. So
I did see I did do a walkthrough on the food plot as I pulled out, and there are tons of deer tracks out there, fresh ones, because it did rain yesterday and some overnight, so those were pretty fresh. I'm guessing that those were tracks from last night, which is a good sign. As long as I got does coming in there to feed, those bucks in the rut are gonna follow that scent back to the food plots while they're out seeking the does. So that's a good sign. I saw plenty of tracks on the trail on the way back in as well. So we definitely have deer roaming around on the south end. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time. So tomorrow's another day. So tag along. I'll see you tomorrow.
Saturday morning, 9:16 a.m. It was a cold one this morning. It was 25 degrees when I left the cabin. When I got into the blind, it was 38 degrees. I sat until after daybreak. Then I wussed out and turned my buddy heater on. Heated the inside of the blind up to 50. So now it's pretty comfortable. I'll check back later and let you know what I see.
Okay, here's my Saturday, November 2nd report. Got out to the blind early, sat there all day long, and sat till 6 p.m. and hiked it back in here. Did not see a deer all day. Saw a number of partridge come out, feed in the food plot, but that's pretty much about it. It was a pretty mild day. It started out cold, but it probably topped out in the upper 40s. And I didn't look when I went back in, but you know, it's probably in the mid 40s now, maybe 45, 46 degrees. So that's that. We have the time change coming tonight, so timelines will be a little bit different tomorrow, but not really. I mean, when you're sitting from dusk to dawn, or dawn to dusk, it is what it is. It's the same amount of hours. So okay, I'll be back at it again tomorrow. We'll just keep this thing going. Ned is supposed to join me tomorrow, so we'll have another hunter here in camp, so that'll be nice to have somebody else in here. But okay, let's get after it tomorrow and see what we can put together.
It's Sunday morning, November the 3rd. Time now is 8:53 a.m. The game plan for today is to sit until 5. We had a time change last night. Right now it's calm, there's no wind. Okay, I'll report back later on. Hey everybody, it is Monday, and so just to give you a quick recap, yesterday, Sunday, we did an all-day sit, and it was supposed to rain yesterday, but the rain never came, so we got a full day in. I sat till 5. Sunsets at 5:22, so I sat till 5, and I didn't see a thing all day, and Ned saw 1 in the morning. So that's that. It did rain overnight, and rained pretty heavy most of the night. And this morning, right now, it's about 20 minutes to 7. I'm in the blind. It was 49 degrees outside today, and it's very balmy out. It's supposed to be moving to a high of about 60, but we're supposed to get rain that's going to roll in here around 11 o'clock, between 11 o'clock and noon, and then it's pretty much going to be a rain out for the afternoon, and it's supposed to be rain all day tomorrow, so we might be rained out of the woods for a couple of days. So if it's going to happen, it's got to happen this morning between now and 11 o'clock. So that's kind of the 411 on what's going on here. So I'll check back later on, let you know how it's going. It's Tuesday morning, November 5th. Time right now is 8:40 a.m. Kind of an update on yesterday. We sat most of the day. We did have some rain I made a move. I hunted in the morning down on the south end, and then I moved up here onto the north end. The reason is, if you're gonna hunt in a light rain or whatever, up here it's more wide open, so if you make a good shot on a deer, with those Muzzy drill cars, they're only running about 50 yards. You should be able to keep your eyes on the deer for most of that 50 yards up here. Down on the south end, 2 jumps and they're in the swamp. So if you're going to be hunting in some rainy type of weather, better to hunt up here where you got a better opportunity to recover a deer. So that's what we're doing. It was 60 degrees when I left the cabin this morning, and it shows rain in the forecast all day long, but that's what it said yesterday too, and it really didn't rain us out the way the news said it would. The problem with being up here is you don't have any internet access, so you can't look up the Doppler on your own. You're stuck listening to the weather report on the television. Anyways, we did not see any deer yesterday, and nothing so far. Ned has made a move over to the other north blind as well, so we're both hunting the north end just in case we do start getting some light rain again today. So that's kind of the game plan. I'll check back in later and let you know what's what. Okay, I'll try to show you the blind, but it's going to be tough with being blacked out, but here we go. There's the front wall, built out with shelves and stuff. I got my water, got some nose blow. Here's my bow, again sitting on a field pod. It's actually a tree pod. Got it bolted right there to the thing. So then there's the opening up here. Got some just stuff. Got my backpack and whatnot back here. You can see the back wall is all blacked out. The whole blind's blacked out. There's the front up here. Got a grunt call and some antlers for rattling. I'm sitting in a chair, obviously. And out here's the food plot. That stake is like 28 yards out. The clump of trees over here straight out is about 32 yards. All the way down to the other end, you can see that pine tree. That's at 60 yards. You got winter rye down on the other end. On this side of the stake, this is all perennial clover in here. Between the deer eating it down to nothing and no rain, it's looking tough. But again, if we can get some rain, I think we got a chance that this stuff will green up. Time now is 10:52. I had a doe come through the food plot right about 10 o'clock. She came from the north going south. Kind of came through the plot with a sense of urgency. She didn't even drop her head. She wasn't running, but she just walked through, steadily walked through, going north to south. So I kept my eyes peeled. I figured she might be chased, and sure enough, about 5-10 minutes later, here comes a nice 6-point buck. Pretty much came from exactly where she did, but he came into the food plot and stood right out there in the middle of the food plot, and I had a perfect shot on him, but he's 50 yards out, and it's been drizzling off and on, and there's rain in the forecast. I couldn't take that long a shot on a rainy day. I don't think I'd take that shot on a beautiful sunny day, but I didn't feel like I had enough confidence to put a good shot on that deer. There's just
too much reaction time at 50 yards for the deer to move and for the arrow to hit it in the wrong spot. And the last thing you want to do is take a beautiful buck like that and make a crappy shot on it and then lose it in the rained boot. So I let him go, and I'm glad I did, because 15 minutes later it started to rain. It's been raining now for 20 minutes or so. It's pretty good rain. I'm hoping it'll just blow out of here, but if it continues to rain for another 15 minutes like this, I think that I'm gonna head back to the cabin and wait for it to pass. I can always come back out, but it could rain like this all day long, so we'll see. It's Wednesday morning, November 6th. It's about 9:45 a.m. Back here on the north end again today. I brought my decoy out. After yesterday having that buck out there at 50 yards and out of range, I figured they're out looking for the does anyway, so I brought my decoy out here. I put it out here at about 20 yards. So if I can lure a buck in to check out that decoy, I should be able to get a good shot on it. I'll give you a look out front. Here we go. Okay, let's do a wrap up for today. Today is Wednesday, November the 6th. Time now is about 5:30, something like that. Sat all day long, and I did have, I used my decoy, you saw that earlier. I did have some deer. I had 4 deer come in at about 2 o'clock. And they came in and fed for like an hour and a half. And then I had a single doe come in right around 4, but she didn't actually come into the food plot. She came kind of to the edge of the food plot, stood there, stomped, and kind of worked back and forth a little bit, and then she ended up going around, and then she was snort wheezing kind of on the back side, so she never really did come in. The decoy spooked her. The others came in and fed, and you know, really didn't have much of a problem. They were wary to begin with, but wasn't a problem. But the truth of it is, even for that doe that spooked, I'm not doe hunting at this point, I'm still buck hunting, so it's just as well that they, like those deer that came in and pinned me down for an hour and a half, you know, I mean, it's fun, it gives you something to look at, but it's not doing much for me. So I'm going to continue to buck hunt with the decoy and just see. I'm really curious to see what happens if I can get a buck to come in on that thing. I mean, I've had a buck before, a small one, in a previous year, and he didn't have a problem with it, so we'll see. But in that bigger food plot, I got to have something to draw them into range. I mean, we can't just rely on them like I had the other day. They're going to jump out into the food plot, and yeah, I mean, I had a perfect shot at 50 yards, but I'm not taking that shot. So, okay, that's the long way around the pond version of what happened today, but I'll be back at it tomorrow. So, signing off for now. It is Thursday, November 7th. Time now is 7:38 a.m. 32 degrees. Everything is super frosty out there.
clear. Warning. Oh, I see a buck coming in right now. Gotta get ready. Alright, so it's about a quarter after 8 a.m. now. As you saw, I had that buck come in. Well, he was starting to come in. He came to the top of the ridge, stopped up by that tree. He looked into the food plot. He had to have seen that the decoy. He stopped. He didn't really. Yeah, he just stopped. Looked. Stayed there for, I don't know, a minute. And then he just slowly turned and went to the north and kind of circled around down the south line. I thought he might be kind of coming around and trying to come in downwind of that doe or the decoy. I grunted a couple of times with my grunt call after he didn't show up. But never saw him or heard from him again. It looked like that big 8 we've had on trail cameras. So, hey, there's deer out here. You just gotta be here when they get here. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings on the decoy right now, but what are you gonna do? I gotta get, it's great to sit out here and see deer, but it does you no good if they're 50, 60 yards away and you can't shoot them. You gotta do something to get them in. It's illegal here in Michigan for us to bait, so I can't throw carrots or apples or something like that out there. That's illegal. So the best thing you can do is plant a food plot like we've done. Try a decoy. I've got that golden Estes, I put that, I dabbed a little on the back of the decoy and I hung some on those cotton things, the sticks, and you stick them up in the tree so that the wind will catch it. So I got one of those on both sides of the food plot, and I freshened those up this morning as well as the back of the decoy. So yeah, alright, so that's that for now. I gotta go into town today, so I'm gonna sit till 11:30, go into town and do my business in town and get back to the woods as soon as possible. I'm hoping to be back out here by 1:30. Hopefully Mr. Big doesn't come in while I'm gone. I've had that happen before. Alright, so over and out for now. It's about 10:55 a.m. At 10 after 9, I left, went to the cabin, packed out, ran to town, took care of all the stuff I needed to in town, got back here, I put together a crock pot dinner, so I got something to eat when I get back, but I'm back out here, so I turned it around in less than 2 hours. On my way to town, on the half-mile trail that goes out to the main road, I had a buck run in front of the Jeep, cross the trail in, about 100 yards in front of me, but he was heading towards our direction. Then I got out to the main road, and I had 2 does standing in the road down there. On my way back in, about halfway through the trail in, that half-mile trail in, I had 2 does running parallel to the trail off about 30 yards inside the wood line. So, deer are out, they're active. I just hope I didn't miss anything while I was gone, but there's no good time to leave. So that's what I hate about having to leave and, going after you pull out of at night You can't, I needed to get the LP gas tank refilled. I can't do that at 6, 7 o'clock at night. So, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But so I'm ready to sit the rest of the day. We'll see what happens.
Here's the wrap up for Thursday, November 7th. Didn't see anything in the afternoon. So the only thing I saw is what I saw in the morning, and that was that. We did have some pretty gusty winds for pretty much all afternoon. I mean, I'm talking, 20 plus mile an hour winds. So deer don't typically like to move in that, so it is what it is. But all right, we'll be back at it again tomorrow. That's Friday, November the 8th. Yeah, whatever.
It's Friday, November 8th. It is right around 8:30 a.m. We'll just sit tight and see what's what. So, okay, check back with you later. Time now is about 1 p.m. on Friday. I just saw 2 does about half an hour ago, about 12:30. And I was happy to see that because the wind has been howling pretty good today. It's definitely doing the gusts of 20 miles an hour. And it's just kind of coming and going, but definitely windy. So that was good and encouraging to see deer still willing to move. So there's hope that Mr. Big Buck will still come in. So yeah, okay, it's 1 o'clock, so we'll have 4 more hours in this hunt. So we'll see. I'm gonna hunt until 5. Sunset's like 5:20. So yeah, that's the plan for today. It is Saturday, November 9th. It's about 8:30 a.m. It is a cold one this morning. It was 26 degrees when we left the cabin. Everything has got a heavy coat of frost on it still. Yesterday was a pretty active day. I saw quite a few deer. I had that family group come in around 2 o'clock, I think. I almost shot the mother. She kind of came in from my blind side, stepped out in front of me there. I had her in the scope and I was ready to, as soon as she took one step further, because she had her front leg kind of back, I needed her to take a step forward to clear that front leg so I could get a double lung on her. And just then, one of the littles stepped into frame, so then the whole family came out, and so I spared her. But that was about 2. They fed for about half an hour and left. Then I had another deer come in just at 5 o'clock, I wait until 5, and then I shut her down. Well, 2 minutes to 5, I had a solo small doe come in. She wasn't a shooter and she was way down at the other end. I let her feed for a few minutes and then I went ahead and shut it down anyways. So I spooked her out of there, but what are you going to do? It doesn't matter. I'm never going to shoot her anyways. It's not like she's going to go tell all of her friends, you know. So, yeah, that's what I had going yesterday. Evan came to camp last night, so he's out hunting the south end on his this morning. Ned came in yesterday, and he hunted Mike's blind in the afternoon, saw quite a few deer, and then he's out there at Mike's blind this morning, so we got 3 of us in the woods today. So that's what's going on. Okay, welcome to the south side of the property in the Todd's Mall. Obviously I made a move. I sat this morning until 1 o'clock. And then I grabbed all my gear and moved out. I'm going to hunt this for the rest of the archery season. And then I'll go back on the north end on opening day of rifle. It's 1:42 now. It's like 53 degrees outside and sunny. So I think I got a much better opportunity to shoot a buck down here, or a deer of any kind. Anything that comes into the food plot is in range. That's the key right there. And on a nice day like today, they will be out and moving. They're a lot more comfortable to move through the woods like this. So, as opposed to kind of going to the field approach on the north end. So, alright, I'll check back with you later if I have anything to say. See you then. It's now Sunday morning, November 10th. Well, it's actually noon. So I've been sitting since a little bit, about 6:45. Haven't seen anything. It rained for like the first 2 hours or so. It's just a little misty rain right now. My plan is to sit till 4, and then I'm going to head back tonight. So Evan's out in the woods. He's going to sit till 4 also. And Ned's hunting this morning. He's going to pull out at noon and head home. So everybody's heading home today. Let's see, I saw a buck yesterday at about 10 minutes to 4. It came from the east. It came out of the woods onto the trail and headed south. So it was nowhere near close enough to get even a good look at it, but it was clearly a buck. And Evan never saw it. He had that big solo doe come in to his food plot right at 8 a.m. yesterday, but he couldn't get his bow up. It spooked her. So, missed opportunity there. It happens to all of us. So at least she's running around here somewhere. So, you know, there's deer in the woods there. It's you know, like I always say, you got to be in the right place at the right time, and it's tough. I tallied up my hours. I think I'm sitting at like 94 hours just in this trip alone. The first trip, it's like 23 hours. So, you put that together, it's a lot of hours sitting in the woods. But I'm gonna stay after it until I tag out two tags this year. So, come on, keep coming along, and we'll get this thing done. So yeah, that's the plan. I'll be back up on Wednesday. I'll hunt Thursday with a bow, and then rifle season starts. So, we'll see what happens.